Today is Saturday, July 23rd, 2016, and this is the Bunny Slippers of Evil Job Seekers Call-In Show, presented by Evil Bunny Consulting. Whew, out of breath. I'm your host, Tyrone Griffin, and if it's 3 p.m. you have on your bunny slippers, you are not looking for a job. Welcome first-time and returning listeners. In this show, we discuss strategies and tactics of job search, staying motivated, and dealing with career transitions. For more tips, resources, daily motivations, and to listen to archive shows, go to the website, bunnyslippersofevil.com. There you'll also find links to our Facebook page, our Twitter handle, and hopefully our Facebook Live. If you are listening live, you can call and get questions at 347-202-0929. Again, that number is 347-202-0929. But first, a word from our sponsors. Evil Bunny Consulting is the alternative to expensive outplacement. For more information, go to bunnyslippersofevil.com. Resume Edit is a high-quality resume writing company of certified resume writers starting at $35. You can find them online at resume4edit.com or call 404-860-2473 and be sure to tell them you heard about them on the Bunny Slippers of Evil Job Seekers podcast. Let 3dresumes.net turn your resume to a webpage with a customized domain for 12 months for only $30. Help hiring managers and recruiters find you, make your resume available 24/7, and get a professional email address just for your job search. You can see my online resume at tyronegriffin.com, and for more information on how to get your own, go to 3dresumes.net. If you are thinking or about to look for a job in today's world, you will find a new reality in the job search process. The world has changed. Job search today is much more complicated than 5 years ago. Volumes of resumes, more applicant screening systems, depersonalized applications. Okay. Depersonalized application. I'm trying to get the Facebook Live up. Panel interviews, team hiring, long complicated applications, branding and social media. Yes, the world has changed. But have you? Are you still trying yesterday's approach? Why struggle and miss out on today's opportunities? Career Oyster is here to help. Great coaches, the latest resources, unique strategies personally tailored to your job search. Find out the new reality and how you can prevent costly mistakes. To register for a free 45-minute private session with head coach Howard Caddy, go to careeroyster.com. Find out the facts now. You'll be glad you did. Remember their motto, the world is your oyster, be the pearl. Well, good morning, everybody, and I apologize to everybody who was hoping to see us on Facebook Live. I cannot get a strong enough signal to go live this morning. I truly apologize. I'm going to try to resolve that. That's why I'm sweating, believe it or not, because I've been running around for the last 10 minutes trying to get this up and running, and for some reason it's not running. So I apologize. Anyway, we're going to keep going with today's show. The topic today, the theme for the month is taking chances. And last week we talked about resumes, taking chances on your resume. And the week before that, we talked about taking chances on your in your interview. Let me try something crazy. See if this will work. Let me see if this will work. Hold on a minute, everybody. Apologize again. I'm going to try to do this. If Apple is as great as I think they are, this will work. Let me turn this camera around. It says live, but it's not doing anything. I was going to try to do something crazy, but it doesn't look like it's going to work. So, well, anyway, we're going to keep going. And again, I apologize, everybody. We're trying to get the Facebook Live thing working, and it is not working at all. I'm having so much fun doing this. So, anyway, we're going to keep it moving. Make sure nobody's calling into the show as well. Okay, good. Wow, this is funny. It won't even let me out of there. So anyway, this week's show, we're going to talk about this week. The topic is taking chances with your networking. Networking is one of those things where I don't want to say people get it wrong a lot of the time, but people get it wrong a lot of the time. That's the nicest way I can put it. what is networking? Now, that's the first question is what is networking? What do you define as networking? Okay. Let me see if this will work this time. Can't get live to work. Oh, darn. Okay, well, I'm not going to worry about that. I'll just go here. But with networking, people think networking is just getting people to know your stuff. People think that just getting people your business cards, your information, that's enough to say that you are networking. That's not. I've been to many, excuse me, I've been to many job networking events where people have just been passing out their business cards. And that's, everybody had their card, but nobody knew who they were. And that's the difference. Okay. If you're just passing out your card, you're not networking, because networking is a two-way thing. People will help you if they know you can help them. Okay, that's the first thing. So it's building your network is a very very delicate thing. I am so discombobulated. I apologize. Let me get my notes out. But building a network is not just by, hey, I know a lot of people. In the old days, it used to be, well, I got a good Rolodex. So because I got a good Rolodex, I can say that I'm building my network. Not really. No, you can't. Just because you have a good Rolodex doesn't mean you're building your network. You have a good Rolodex, that means you just have a lot of people's information, a lot of people's contact information. But just because you have it doesn't mean that you know how to use it. Doesn't mean it's useful. Doesn't mean that you're helping in any way. Okay. So just getting your word, people get stuck at getting the word out there. I want to get the word out to let everybody know I'm out here. That's not networking. Okay. But networking, from your perspective, from what people can do for you, networking is getting your information in front of people who can help you, who either have a job or know somebody that can have a job, or know somebody who can build your network. Think about networking from the standpoint of not just job search, but think about other people who have to do networking. Think about people who fundraising. Fundraisers, they are good at networking. They call you at all hours of the night and all that stuff, but they have a big Rolodex. Okay, but just that because they have that big Rolodex doesn't mean it's a useful Rolodex. Okay, just because they have a lot of names doesn't mean that all those people that they have their names, all those people are people that they can talk to. Okay, that's the thing. Just because you have a bunch of names doesn't mean they're useful. Think about it like this. If you were a fundraiser and everybody in your Rolodex was unemployed or homeless, how effective is your Rolodex? Okay. So when you're just trying to hand out information, when you're just trying to throw cards out to people, that's not really networking. That's just literally just handing out your cards. Everybody who's in job search goes to Vistaprint and they get those first, all those cards you get, those 500 for $10 or whatever, those business cards you get. And your goal is, let me just hand all of these out before, and then I'll know I've networked with 500 people. No, because again, I've seen people go to networking events and drop their cards on tables, just put one at every place setting. That's all they did. We just went around the table putting cards at every place setting. That's not networking. Okay. And believe me when I say, when you come to a table and you see somebody's card sitting there already, for the 2.3 seconds that you're looking at it, you might, for those seconds, you might look at it, and the rest of the time, you're not doing anything with it. Hey, I got the Facebook Live up. Hopefully it'll stay up. If it breaks, I apologize to people. Trying to get all these multiple things working. Anyway, just to rehash for people on Facebook Live, the topic today is networking and taking chances with your networking. And what I basically said for the last what I was saying for the last few minutes was that networking is more than just handing your business card out. Facebook not Facebook. Networking is more than just getting your name in front of people. Networking, like if you go to a networking event, you can go and meet a lot of people there, but it's probably better, instead of trying to meet a lot of people, to try to identify the people who you need to meet. Target in on the people. Now, there's a couple of different ways people do this. First of all, if you're going to a networking event, or if you're going to a industry event, you don't just try to just go meet everybody. It's like, why are you going? Is there somebody there you want to meet? Is that why you're going to the networking event? Identify that person. Do some research on that person. Okay? I mean, you don't necessarily have to know their dog's name, but it can't hurt. But have somebody in mind, have a reason for going. When you blindly go to a networking event, and I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but one time when I was in networking transition, me and a buddy used to go to the Black MBA Association meeting here in Atlanta. And just my opinion, it was a waste of our time. Because a lot of people were handing out cards, trying to look important, but there was no really good networking going on. It was just people trying to impress other people. So if you're talking about networking is a two-way street. But the first thing, if you want to meet somebody, if you're trying to meet somebody, you're trying to truly network with somebody, the question is why? Why are you trying to meet this person? Is this person somebody who has a job? Or is a hiring manager? Is this somebody who knows somebody who's a hiring manager? Is this somebody who is working for a company that you're trying to get into? You're trying to get a foot in the door. So we've all been there where somebody just tried to meet you. I keep saying job search is like dating. And ladies, how many times have you had a guy who was trying to get your number, who trying to jump all in your face, and you're like, look, I don't know you. You're coming on too strong. Back off a little bit. Okay, that's networking. You can have that same problem if you come on strong. If you see somebody, there's Bill Gates, and you just run up and go, all over them. Or, you see one of the people from, what's that show, Shark Tank. And they're like, they got money. I'm going to meet that person. And, you come on too strong. So if you're going to network, first thing you want to do in networking, the first thing is you want to make a good impression on that person. The person that you are networking with, that you are going to meet, you want to make a good impression on that person. Okay, period. You want to make a good impression. Okay, and that doesn't mean you run up and give them a hug. So first thing you want to do is make a good impression. The second thing you want to do is you want them to remember you. Okay, you want them, so that means maybe you have a 5 or 10 minute conversation. If you meet somebody at a conference, you don't just hand them your card and say, hi, I'm so-and-so, blah, 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 and then run off to the next person. If you really want to do networking, you spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes even. Let the conversation flow. And you don't approach somebody, particularly in job search, you don't approach somebody, hi, I'm Tyrone Griffin, you work for Delta, and I'm looking for a job. And that person right then, the switch turns off and they're not listening to anything else you say, because all they're thinking at that point is this person looking for a job, this person looking for a job, this person looking for a job, and they are stumbling into it like a bull in a china shop. Have a conversation with people. Networking is about finding common values, common things you can talk about. Have a conversation with somebody. Make them remember you for other than this is just some person trying to get a job. The best thing is if somebody wants to talk to you again, somebody says, this is the kind of person we would like to have working at Delta. Okay, that's the greatest thing. And they say, hey, let's stay in touch. I'd like to talk to you. But what your goal is when you go to a networking event, specifically if you're in job search, your goal is to get the names, get contacts of people who you can talk to, but you want to follow up. Okay, because that's your goal, is to have people follow up with you. Because you're not going to get a job that night. Okay, if you're going to get a job, it's going to be the next day, a week later, when you have that person in a different setting. because at a networking conference or an industry conference, we call it, that person hasn't come there with jobs in their pocket. Okay, that person came there to attend the conference. They just happened to run into you. What you want to do is not infringe, not to be a pain in the behind, to be blunt. You don't want this person to look at you and go, oh Lord, here he comes. You don't want to be that social butterfly where everybody in the place knows you either. Okay, you think that, oh, that's great. Everybody, oh, he's a super networker, or she's a great networker. And behind your back, you're like, oh Lord, here she comes, here she comes, here she comes, here she comes. Okay, you don't want that. You don't want people dreading to see you come into the room or to come to their table. But so you talked about the first thing you want to do is make a good impression. The second thing you want to do is be remembered in a positive light. Third, you're trying to extend your network. You're trying to extend your network, particularly if you're in job search. You are trying to extend the number of people you know. Okay, it's a two-way street. You're trying to extend your network so that people can help you, but at the same time, you want to be able to be in a position where you can help somebody. Okay, that's the part people often forget about. As they look at it, back in the 80s, we had this, saying people would say is, people would walk up and go, hey, hi, my name is so-and-so. What can you do for me? It was all about me. Networking is not all about you. It's all about the other person. It's all about what you can do for them. I had Steve Beacham's been on my show a couple of times, and he's talked about one of the greatest quotes he said was, he walked people, what can I do for you? Okay. And the thing was, if he started with that and he really tried to help that person, then the next thing they would say, well, thank you, I appreciate that. What can I do for you? Yep, Kevin, good point. I made that earlier. I think it was probably before I got on Facebook. I said, do some research on the person. And, you don't have to necessarily know, like I said, you don't have to necessarily know the dog's name, but it won't hurt. Trying to see what all he has to say. I got somebody on Facebook. It doesn't always have to be business. Either connect with somebody personally. Exactly. Here's the thing. Kevin, thank you so much. That's a very good point. He said it's not always about business. It's networking. Here's the thing. You should be networking probably all the time, or you should be open to networking all the time, not just when you're in job search. And that's the mistake I think a lot of people make, is they only think about networking when they're looking for something, when they need something. Okay. Think about this with networking. I'm jumping around. I apologize. I do have notes. But the first networker in history, in recorded history, was the snake in the Garden of Eden, because that snake was trying to get to Adam, and he went through Eve to get to Adam. That was networking. Okay, that was networking one-on-one. When somebody's getting a roof put on their house or getting some home repairs done, and the company that's doing it has a sign out in their yard, that's networking. Okay, you see networking all the time. When you go into go look for a car, and you drive onto the lot, and you're just looking, but the guy says, let me have your name, give me your contact information, because he's trying to network with you. One of the things in job search, and this is, harsh reality that you have to come to, especially women, and I don't mean to insult anybody, but this is the reality of it. You got to pimp yourself. You literally got to pimp yourself. You're building your network, and you're saying to people, basically, if you can't use my services, do you have any friends who can use my services? It's rough, but that's reality of what you're saying. Okay, so wrap your head around that and say, this is what I got to do, because your ultimate goal obviously is, and when you're networking in job search, is to get a job. But as Kevin said, you can connect with people personally too. There's nothing wrong with knowing a lot of people. You never know when you're going to need somebody. You never know when somebody might need you. I've told the story on here several times. The current position I'm in, the job I have now, I got because of somebody that I networked with 5 years ago. And after 5 years, 6 years ago now, after 6 years, 5 years, this person called me up out of the blue because they still had my name in their Rolodex. But more importantly, I had apparently left a good impression with this person. So 5 years later, out of the blue, they said, hey, I know I'm looking to fill this kind of role. I know somebody. I wonder if he still got my number. Let me give him a call. And they called me. Thank God I hadn't changed my phone number. But they called me out of the blue. And that was God's grace. I ain't going to take no credit for that. But my point is this. Networking is a really good thing to do in general, even when you don't need anything. If you extend your network from the standpoint of trying to help other people, you will be surprised how often people will try to help you. Okay, that's the thing about it. It's all about one hand washing the other, people trying to help each other. Okay, that's what networking is all about. Let me jump back on my notes. I just make sure I don't skip everything. So if you're in job search and you look during your networking, treat your networking like a job. Treat it like you're get up, go to work. I'm going to do some networking today. When you have an event coming up, treat it like a job. Have a goal. Sit down and write down what is it you're trying to accomplish. Okay, because and we've all done it. You go to something and you say, well, I'm just going to see what happens. Take it back to the dating metaphor. How many times you went to a party and you didn't know who you're going to meet, but you're like, I'm just going to go and see who's there. Okay. And that's fine for a social setting, but in the back of your mind, you're trying to find somebody, but you never, you don't intentionally do it. You just try to find somebody by mistake. Okay. I'll just find somebody by mistake and we'll go from there. Okay. No, that's not going to work. But treat your networking like a job. Here's another very important thing. As you build the layers of your network, the levels of your network, as you go from person A to person B, person A connection with person B connection with person C, don't forget about person A, because person A more than likely knows more people than person B. Okay, so it's not a matter of person A can only give you one person and then you're done. You might be on person F. Keep person A, B, C, D, and E updated on your status, particularly in jobs. Now, I'm not saying in a social setting. You don't say, hey, man, you hooked me up with this girl and I'm dating her mama and all that kind of craziness. But particularly in job search, if this person connects you to this person, thank this person. If this person B connects you to C, let B know. Thank them. Let them know that you've connected with person C. And also let person A know that somebody they connected you with helped you get to somebody else. Particularly as long as you're in transition. If you're in job search, you don't want to, as you build a web of your network, you just don't want to be working with the people on the top. You want to work with this knuckle and this knuckle and this knuckle and this knuckle and this knuckle. You want to keep those people on your side. You want to keep those people abreast of your situation, because they've hooked you up once, they may hook you up again. They may be able to say, oh, here's another person. So person A hooked you up with person B, but person A also connected you to person Q. Okay. Now, how do you keep all this straight? Get a spreadsheet, get a notebook, but keep it straight. If you are really and truly treating this like a job, and when you're in transition, networking is a job. If you are truly treating it like a job, then make sure that you keep notes of everything. Keep everybody abreast. You got to work. It's not easy. It's not easy to do good networking. Yeah, I know we all see the person who's jumping around at the networking event, the social butterfly that everybody knows. But think about it like this. Again, taking it back to dating. That one girl that everybody knows. Who's dating her? Just saying. Guys, same thing. You're there and all the girls know him. I don't want him because he knows too many people. So just knowing a lot of people is not the end all be all. Okay. How deep is your network? How rich are your connections with these people? And understand this, once you land a job, go back to the people who A, B, C, all these people, and let them know, that they were helpful. Even if it wasn't each of them that helped you get to the person who you eventually got a job from, these people tried to help you. So these people are trying to help you. So then you have to make sure that you let them know that you appreciate them trying to help you. Okay? Because you never know when you're going to find yourself in transition again. Trust me on that. You never know when you are going to find yourself out there looking again. And if you've made a good impression on these people, very professional impression on people during your job search, if you have to go back to them and say, hey, I found myself in this situation again, I want to hopefully, hopefully I can rely on you, or I can call on you to help me weed through. It's not just calling on you to help me network with other people. Get these people's opinion, value their time. People like that. If you sit with somebody and do your marketing plan with them, and we'll talk about that on another show, but if you sit with somebody and go over your marketing plan with them, they are more inclined to try to help you get a job other than if you sit with them and pull out a notebook and say, tell me everybody you know. I tell you a story. When I first came out of college, I got my license to sell insurance up in Connecticut. And I didn't take the job because the first thing they told me after we got our license was, okay, I want you to write down the names of 100 people you know and can sell insurance to. And I'm not giving you all my friends' names. They just wanted to push insurance to these people. Their whole thing was to build their Rolodex. They weren't trying to go deep. They were trying to go wide. If you build your network wide instead of deep, it's not a useful network to them or you. Okay? I'm not saying you got to go to lunch with 20 people every week, but you can send an email to people just to keep them abreast of what you're doing. Okay? Keep them abreast of how your job search is going. Keep them up to date with what's going on in your life. Send them Christmas cards. It seems crazy and corny, but you know what? People like that stuff. And if you want people to help you, then you have to do things to help them. Okay? You have to do things to help people other than just asking them for help. That's what networking is all about. It's about two-way street. Let me make sure I hit all my points. Informational interviews. That's a great way to network. What's an informational interview? Call somebody up and say, hey, I heard this job is available, or this, I'm trying to get into this company. Here's a better way. Go on LinkedIn and find somebody who works at a company that you are trying to get into locally. And say, hey, can we meet for coffee one morning? I just want to ask you some questions about the company. People, if you don't call somebody and say, hey, I want to find a job. You call people up and reach out to them through LinkedIn and say, hey, I'd like to buy a cup of coffee one morning. Give 15 minutes of your time. I just like to talk. I'm curious about the company. I want to get somebody's feedback for somebody who's in the company. Okay. Most people, free cup of coffee, free Danish. Yeah, that's how we roll. Boom. Now here's the thing: if somebody offers to give you 15 minutes, don't take more than 15 minutes. Okay, don't go there with a stack of stuff and I'm going to take up their whole morning because they're going to love me. No, they're going to hate you and they're never going to talk to you again. That's the reality of it. Okay, so that's what an informational interview is. Sit with somebody, get somebody, and have some questions. Don't think that we're just going to talk. Say, hey, I thank you for your time. Here's a few questions I want to ask you about the company. And here's the thing: if you do it well, if you do that well, you do two things. One, they'll talk to you again. And the other thing is they will go back to the company. And, the best thing out of an informational interview is at the end of it, they say, you got a resume? He said, yes, I do. So happen I do. Here you go. That's the best thing. And then you have a foot in the door. And they say, you know what? There's somebody I want you to talk to. Let me go back and get their name and I'll send it to you. That's the best thing coming out of an informational resume. You haven't asked them for a job. You haven't, I got to hit something here. You haven't asked them for a job and they haven't offered a job. But boom, you got a foot in the door. Okay. That's what you are trying to do with an informational interview. Okay. You are trying to get your foot in the door. Okay. So that's one way to network. You can always network with people in an informational interview. Plain and simple. You can truly network with people like that. Let me do something here. Make sure. Okay. But, sorry, having some technical difficulties here. Okay, let me see where else. I said earlier, some of you might have missed it because I got my Facebook Live up late. Sorry, people on the video, it's getting weird for a second. But here's the thing: if you consider networking to be just going to an event and passing your business card out to everybody there, you're not networking. You really are not networking. You're just getting people to know your name, or you're giving people something else to throw into the trash when they leave. That's the reality of it. When you go to a networking event and you just hand out your card, okay, to everybody. I've been there. I said, you walk back to a table and there's a card there. I don't know this person. Oh, that's cute. Nice card. I might steal the design, and then I'm throwing it away. Okay. I got a few more points to make. The podcast people, we're going to end the audio now, not the video, but I'm going to keep talking for a few more minutes. Anybody's got any questions on Facebook Live, please feel free to ask them. But okay, let me end that. And yes, let me end this. Okay, sorry. So let me keep going. I said handing out cards is not networking. As you stand your circle back, everyone you know. Okay, yep, talked about that. And to repeat, if you go to a networking event, your goal is not to just network with everybody. You know, to just get to know everybody, to jump around the room. Okay, networking is very precise. It's an art, not a science to networking. Okay, it's a true art. But again, your goal also is to set up a network where it's not just all about you. Okay, it's about what can you do for other people as well, and be willing to help other people, particularly in job search. Here's the thing with job search: everybody's out there looking for a job, and I got a job once where somebody in transition, they landed someplace, and we had networked with each other in transition, and we kept in touch, and they said, "Hey, I saw a job in my company I'm working with now that I think you might be a good fit for. You mind if I walk your resume over to somebody?" Now that's gold. That's gold. They walked my resume over to a hiring manager. And yeah, I ended up with a job off of that. Yeah, I've been laid off a few times. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, that's what networking is. It's not just about what can you do for me. It's being a nice person, is making a connection with people. Hold on a minute. I got a question on Facebook after I personally realized I had to. Okay, couldn't mind friends for the sake of paying more attention to friends. My network is outside. Yeah, Facebook is a perfect example. LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, that's another perfect example. I got about 4,000 or 5,000 friends on LinkedIn. I'm a LinkedIn slut. That's, I'm not gonna quote. That's what I am. But there was a reason for that, because I was in what I do here, trying to do the job, the podcast, Bunny Slippers of Evil. Everything I do is trying to help other people. So I just tried to connect with anybody who offered to connect with me. And I've tried to help people. People send me a request through LinkedIn. Can you help me find somebody? Yeah, I'll say, hey, search my network. If there's somebody on there you see, let me know, and I will try to do an introduction for you. I try to help other people. That's just, but my network, the goals of my network are usually very different than the goals of other people's networks. So, but just because you have a big Rolodex, doesn't mean nothing. It's not the size of the ship, it's the motion of the ocean. Yeah, I said that. Anyway, having a big Rolodex does not make you a great networker. Because, I can go around collecting cards all day. I can go to my mechanic and collect the card. I can go to other people, people I meet on the street. I can go to a bunch of people and connect and collect their cards. And I have all those cards. That doesn't mean that I'm a good networker. That means I'm a good collector of cards. Okay. So if you're seriously talking about networking, then it's an art. So I'm going to run through just to sum up a couple of the points. Networking is two-way street. Networking is about not just about what people can do for you, it's about what you can do for other people. Make a good impression. You want to be remembered, and you're trying to extend your network. But also remember that other people are also trying to extend their network. So don't try to not be a part of somebody's network. There were people on LinkedIn, they used to hide their networks. And they didn't want anybody to see who they're connected to. Okay, well, don't ask me for a connection. You're just hoarding this group of people that nobody else can talk to. It's like, really? Treat extending your network either socially, well, not as socially, but professionally. Treat it like a job. If you're in transition and you're trying to network with people, treat networking as an activity in your job search. Okay, treat it like that. I can take these off now. But treat it as an activity. Treat it as something that you intentionally do. Okay. Do informational interviews. Ask somebody for coffee, to go sit and have coffee with them, and use that time to talk to them about the company they work for, if that's what you're trying to get into. But more importantly, you want to leave a good impression, because at the end of it, again, and if you ask them for 15 minutes, don't take 16 minutes. Okay. If you ask them for 15 minutes, keep it to that. Okay. People are not going to love you enough to spend their morning with you. They're going to sit there and they're going to be pissed and they're never going to talk to you again. That's the reality. Okay. But your goal is to open the door for another meeting. One of the things I do when I do my show is at the end of the show, and you probably heard me ask people, will you come back? So that if something happens in the future, and I've had people on the show several times because of that, because I asked them, will they come back? And nobody's going to say no. I get them on the air saying yes. And then the next time I want to have a conversation with them about something, I can call them. Be judicious when handing out your business cards. Okay. Just because you got 250 of them from Vistaprint doesn't mean you got to hand out 250 of them tonight. Okay. Try to, particularly with handing out business cards, try to make some connection with the people that you're handing cards and you get a card from them, and some connection that when you look at their card later on the next day, you can remember something about them, and you want them the same way that they can remember something about you. Handing out cards is definitely not networking. Handing out cards is handing out cards. It's trying to get you to 250, so then you can feel good about, well, I gave out 250 cards. Oh, but I also have a job. Oh, just guess I didn't do it right. And I don't say that to be funny. I've been there. I've handed out 500 Vistaprint cards and still not had a job and been like, I did something wrong. That's the reality of it, okay? Finally, if you're at a networking event, the goal is not to make as many contacts as possible. The goal is to extend your network. And you want to extend your network with your claws in, okay? You don't want to just have a network that you don't know. And lastly, and I can't say this enough, and I said it and I'll repeat it again, the more you grow your network, stay in touch with the people on layer 1. When you get to layer 7, make sure the people on layer 1 that you reach out to them and let them know how things are going. Okay, that particularly the person on the root of the branch that you're having a good networking experience with. Let the person who started that route, let them know that you appreciate what they did to get you where you are. And when you land, send everybody in your network an email or a letter, a card or something. Let them know your status, but more importantly, let them know that you thank them, that you appreciate what they've done for you, what they did for you. Yeah, every one of them may not have helped you get a job, but understand this. Networking, job search is more than just about getting a job. When you're in transition, it's more than just about getting a job. Being in transition means getting through transition. Now, sometimes just having somebody to talk to when you're in transition is what helps get you through transition. Okay, so yeah, this was the branch that got you the job, but all these other branches are here. They helped you in other ways. And even if they didn't help you, they tried. So thank them. Be sure you follow up, you circle back with the people who have tried to help you. Okay, because you never know when you're going to be in a situation when those people you're going to need their help again. Okay. With that, I think I'm going to end this week. Everybody, thank you very much. I try to do this every week, 10 a.m. Hopefully I don't have as many technical glitches as I had, but every week, 10 a.m. Eastern time, I'm going to put this on Facebook Live. We'll do another show. Next week is important. It's the job search Q&A. So please come with questions. Email me questions, Facebook me questions, or whatever. And I just try to answer your questions. But the first Saturday of every month, I try to do just job search Q&A. So I don't really have a topic. Today's topic was networking, but I don't really have a topic, so I'll jump around and whatever comes in. Caveat, I am not a certified career coach, job seeker, or anything like that. I'm just somebody who's been there and done a lot of the crazy things that people do. Okay, so take my words as just that opinion. So anyway, again, everybody, next Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern time, I'll be trying to do this again. I thank you all for your patience, your kind thoughts, all the little thumbs up. I appreciate it. And we will talk again soon. Take care. Okay, guys. Bye-bye.